Hey everyone, it's Chris with Artifact. Today we're in the Artifact studio and we're going to briefly talk about one of our popular totes, our number 180 Harness Leather Tote. I'll show you how we make it and then discuss some of its design features. So let's take a look. It starts with selecting the leather. And we'll go over here to this table. The leather that we use for these totes comes from the Wickett Craig tannery in Pennsylvania, and we work with the tannery to split the leather down to the correct ounce weight for us, where it still has strength but yet not unnecessary or excessive weight. We roll this out, and for the body panels, I hand cut those with this template here. So we just take a look at the hide, and even though this is first grade premium select leather, it still has natural blemishes or characteristics that are typical from when the cow was living. And so I like to take this template here and just look and see which would make for the best panels for that, and then the other ones can go to pockets and other pieces. So once I lay that out, I'll then take a clicker knife here. And we really love this Olfa brand. This is really quality knife for the price. And so we'll hand cut these out. And then the other components to the bag, if you want to follow me over here, we die cut these with this hydraulic clicking press. And you think about it like a cookie cutter. These are called steel rule dies that we have custom made to the shapes that we want. And these two dies right here will cut or click out the inside pocket for this tote. And this one's already been sewn here, where it has the card pocket sewn onto this pocket, which then in turn is sewn onto the bag. And for our purposes, this die is really handy because that radius, not that we can't cut that by hand with a blade, it just, it's perfect every single time. Now we're going to sew together the number 180 Harness Leather Tote. I'll be using our Adler 867 flatbed machine. It's a compound feed walking foot machine, very powerful. It can literally just walk over your material, so it keeps it from shifting around. This machine, it's a precision instrument and can handle a spectrum of thread weights. So what we're going to do is we're going to pair our two body panels together. I've already sewn the patch pocket here with this radiused stitch. So let's match them together and go. And then you repeat the step for these side seams, fold it together, and then this is where you sew your gusset closed. So here we have the finished product, our number 180 Harness Leather Tote. And when I designed this bag several years ago, my thought process at the time was less is more. I wanted to deconstruct all the elements of a tote bag and have absolutely what you needed and nothing else. And that's why I arrived at this, where it's a single ply of harness leather, where we worked with the tannery to split it down to, like I said earlier, the correct thickness to where it still was sturdy. It had strength, but it wasn't super heavy. And I wanted this bag to look good when it was partially filled or when it was fully loaded up. And that's why I went with this T-style gusset or stitch, because when it's empty like this, it's just got a nice profile when you're carrying it. I chose hand-hammered copper rivets because over time these will oxidize and patina just like the leather will, and they'll blend in wonderfully. very basic stitching. Up here where the seam terminates, I chose to use a solid brass rivet, so this will never fail. It won't pull out up there. And I wanted it to have a pocket, and there were a couple ways I could address it, but ultimately, to keep the profile clean inside, I went with sewing a patch pocket, and then became interested in the idea of having the stitch line of that pocket be a design element on the reveal of the bag. So I played around with the design until I found a radius that I thought looked really pleasing for the exterior of this bag. Inside the bag, you have, here's the patch pocket detail. You've got a larger patch pocket, and then sewn on top of that, you have another pocket here that's ideal for your subway card or your gift card, maybe your license or some other idea that you want to maybe have quick access to. And then on the other side of the tote, you've got a key clip, solid brass key clip with the hanger. And this is another unique feature about this bag is it is one of the products that I still hand cut and sew every one of them. So if you have this tote or you're buying this tote, you can know that that I'm still sewing these. And I wish I would have kept count, but I've sewed quite a few in my day. So to learn more about Artifact, please visit our website at artifactbags.com, and thank you for watching.